Token Druid is a pretty good budget deck as well. Nobody seems to be playing it, which surprises me a little bit. But at the same time, I also understand that there are some aspects that aren't good about this deck. Like if your board gets wiped and you don't have Soul of the Forest, how do you respond? But for the most part, if you just play on curve and then you get the Savage Roar, sometimes you don't even need that. You can just pump it up with something like Blessing of Ancients. You just win. This deck doesn't require any legendaries, so that's really, really nice. And you could theoretically just rush the board with these minions. I'm gonna do that, and I don't know if I want to play double Acorn Bearer or just double Mech, or that and a Mecharoo. I'm gonna do a Mecharoo instead, because that way if he has something to like kill a minion, that one could stay alive in the end. And the next turn we play Acorn Bearer. That's fine. Hopefully he doesn't get like a ping 2 or something. Or actually spawning a 2-drop would probably be the worst thing for me. That's actually good. I actually like that, because that means I get to play on curve with 2 more 1-drops, which is really, really nice. Boom, boom. Trade into that. Basically, the reason why trading in this deck is not bad is because you want to maintain board control. So if you can get value trades, you want to do that, and then your whole point is to burst them with Savage Roar or get a big enough board to where you can kill them over like 2 turns or something. So that's the basic idea of this deck. And he's been overloaded, so that limits what he can do next turn. Next turn I can Squirrel Hero Power, potentially kill something of his. And yeah. Or I might not even want a Hero Power. I could just Squirrel, Squirrel, Squirrel. Or Hogsteed Squirrel. That one actually might be the best option, because then I can kill that off without an issue. And if he manages to kill this, then I still get a minion left over. So let's see. How many more? He needs to play 4 more before he can get the double, which means if I can get my minions to 2 health, if he has the Twisting Tornado Menace or whatever, the Elemental, with Battlecry doing 1 damage to everything. If he doesn't play that this turn, and they pump everything to 2, I can run away with the game, in my opinion. I think I can start running away with the game here. That doesn't matter to me. Like, he actually used one of his direct damage units offensively. Oh, that's really good. But I really want to do this and pump. Then trade again, keep board control, and then hit him with all of these minions. And then I still have the Garden Gnome, which is nice, and I also have another Blessing of Ancients, so I can refill the board if he does happen to wipe this too, which is really, really nice. He gets to take 1, takes a 2/2. That's a little unfortunate, but I think I'm just gonna... I could bees. Let's see. Okay, so I want to kill that, and I want to kill this. So I can trade. But I also want to bees that. Alternatively, we swipe. Trade, play a squirrel. Again, the whole point of this deck... I want to keep the 2 alive. We'll trade with the 1. The whole point of this deck is to have board control for as long as you can and then burst him. So making value trades is actually good for this deck. Or at least it is into an aggro deck. I feel like into this one, I probably should go face so he doesn't finish his quest. But I also think that it's worth dealing with his board. That's another one of his direct damage spells gone. That's actually fine for me. I don't really care. If he returns that to his hand, he's being silly. Mutate. Okay. Ooh, Soul of the Forest. That's so good. So bees. Blessing of Ancients to pump them all up again. If I was playing the different version of the deck where I have Snip Snap, I would trade, or I would keep this alive. And I'm going to keep it alive just because technically that's what I should do. But I don't think it really matters that much. And next turn I can play Soul of the Forest, and if I can get 1 extra minion, that would be fantastic. If I get Savage Roar, that threatens lethal. Is that lethal? 10, 16, yeah, it's lethal if I get it. Only have 4 minions on board, so Mind Control Tech only takes 1 thing. That doesn't even do anything. And I got Savage Roar, so we win. Boom. Just because we can, and bam, well played. Just beat a fairly meta deck easily with this one. Not even a problem. That being said, though, he did have kind of suboptimal cards, but also he did hit a mind control tech. The Sandstorm Elemental, if he had had it a turn before, that would have been really good for him. And he did end up finishing his quest eventually. He had a really bad mutate, though, which I you know, feel bad about. But anyway, too expensive, has potential, don't want, but Hogsteed's fine. Give me a 1. No 1 drops, so that's not ideal. This deck doesn't really rely on 1 drops, but having a 1 drop is really, really nice. But if I have the coin, having a 2 drop's fine. I'm more just a little, but hopefully he doesn't have Innervate. Oh, he didn't, thank God. Whew, okay. We made it past that one. If I can draw a Force of Nature or Force Aid before I play her, that's so important. That's actually really, really, really important. The biggest issue with this deck, in my opinion, the absolute biggest issue, is the lack of card draw. You have no way of really accelerating yourself. And if you happen to be put in a weird position where you start running out of cards, then you kind of just lose the game. I think I want to coin this out. Because if I coin it out and I get Mekaru out there, that applies more pressure, and there's no guarantee I'll get the Garden Gnome thing. And then this sets up an even more powerful Blessing of Ancients play. And like, sure, I could theoretically draw Force of Nature or Force Aid, but I gotta play the odds here, right? And the odds of it are fairly low. 4 out of 24, it's a 1/6 chance. I have a 1/6 chance of drawing it, and I don't want to play those odds. And I didn't even get it. See, so it makes sense. I'm going to play 1 Squirrel. Give everything +1/+1 so they don't die to a swipe if he feels like he's forced to play that. I've got 2 more turns to try to kill him here before he gets a ton of value from something like Starfall. So I've got 2 turns. Next turn is going to be a Squirrel Blessing of Ancients, which actually gets a lot of things out of the range of a massive board wipe like Starfall. Fascinating. Okay, he wants to kill a 3 health minion, which is fine. Mulch Muncher's not the worst thing in the world. We pump everything up again. Go face. And you got 1 more turn. And then theoretically we might be able to win the game if we can draw Savage Roar or something. But the Garden Gnome can be a huge increase of tempo, and I just don't have it yet. So it's okay. Like, it's not terrible. If he stays alive here, I think I might lose. Maybe. Rush? Fascinating. I might have gone with the taunt there, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's not enough, so let's just go with this. Starfall doesn't do anything, or it doesn't wipe my board. He already used Loti, so he doesn't get the extra spell damage, and I have a good enough board here where I don't think it really matters that much. You have the hero power as well. I think we're chilling. Heals for a lot, that's okay. That's less okay. Hench Clan Hogsteed? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then boom. Double trade here. How does Hogsteed fit into all of this? Boom, trade. He stays alive. Boom, boom. Just play it, I guess? So why not? Or just play a 2-3. No, I'll play the 2-1. So, trade, trade. And then double trade. I want to keep the lifesteal minions alive. And pass. Okay, so the fact that I didn't have a higher cost spell was a little disappointing, but if I'm able to draw Force Aid soon, I might actually still be able to win the game. He used one of his hidden oases. If he had another defender, he would have used it, so he has limited defensive options. If he has the double rush, he kills, leaves me with 2 minions and then a 1/1. Starfall leaves me with a couple of minions left. If he trades something into the 4/1, that's actually really good for me. Because I get left with a 1/1 and I can value trade that in. Okay. Oh! Well, that's fascinating. That's actually weird. I did not expect that at all. Forest Aid. So this now pops off. Boom. You get to play this. I actually think I want to trade that into this. And, honestly, I'm okay making the trade because if he uses removal, I have the Forest Aid. And then, like, I just want to maintain board control because I don't want to get, like, value trades into these and then somehow kill my 4/1 with, like, bees and have extra value. So I'm just going to do this instead. First Hal only gets him 4 armor, so that's actually good for me. 5 is enough for Starfall. Starfall would wipe my board here, which would be terrible. But I do have Forest Aid next turn. Wow, okay, he's just playing that to, like, try to stay alive. Which is amazing for me. I think just playing this and getting a ton of things on board is probably best for me, and then going face. And, like, if he decides to wipe my board here, this is cheaper, and then I can play this and this next turn, because I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 more die. This will be 4. I can play both of these for 8, get at least an okay amount of board pressure, and then have Forest Aid right after that. So again, the biggest issue with this deck is the lack of draw, but if you happen to draw the cards that you need at the time, you can run away with the game. Don't tell me you got Starfall. Maybe? Please don't tell me you got Starfall. Nourish, that's not enough. That doesn't... Unless he gets Innervate Starfall. Or he might already have Innervate. Innervate Starfall on the 2/3 kills it and my entire board. But then again, I get to play Garden Gnome and Mulch Muncher the very next turn, so I don't think it really matters that much. And I don't need to, like, worry about dying. I have plenty of health.
Contradictions.
If he happens to play something big, I really don't care about it at all. If he plays Oasis, which he can't even afford. Okay.
Sands of time run low.
So theoretically, I just win the game here. Unless he has double Innervate and Discovered Starfall. Oh, shoot. I think that's the best play. Double trade. Make him trade into these last 2 minions, because I have so much board control, it doesn't really matter. And, like, if he has Starfall, I have the Soul of the Forest to keep me alive, so it's fine. I got really lucky getting a 1-drop, I think, and being able to accelerate the way that I did with Power of the Wild and Blessing of Ancients, but I haven't even needed to play my Forest Aid yet. Like, even if I didn't have that much pressure, I could have still played Forest Aid and been absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Oh! So this guy's cheaper. 2 Mulch Munchers. That wins me the game, honestly. Wait, no, he gained a ton of life. I don't technically win yet, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mulch Muncher, Mulch Muncher. Trade the 1/1 in. That with this. Mulch Muncher. No, not Forest Aid. Mulch Muncher. Kill both of these. Trade the 1/1 in. Do I want to trade the 1/1 in? No, I'll take 5. I want to keep these alive. The more things I have with the Death Rattle, the more things stay alive if he does Starfall. This thing being at 2 sucks. Starfall does wipe my board entirely here. But he can only have so many things, right? And then I have Forest Aid and Forest Aid again, and theoretically I can still win. Like, this guy hit his huge power spike by finishing his quest. Dude, this guy keeps playing stuff to stay alive. I'm telling you, I think Quest Druid is probably one of the best decks in the game. Like, all around best decks. So he doesn't hit the 2/2. Or any of the things with the Death Rattle, which means he doesn't have Starfall. Which is really, really nice for me. Okay, Savage Roar. Give it to me. It's not Savage Roar. That is a different card. We'll just play it though. Going face with these is probably best. Do I lose here? Am I about to lose the game? Was I not able to close it out and therefore lose? Like, I have Forest Aid, so it's not the end of the world. But I'm gonna go face with everything. Dude, I'm tilted. I'm gonna lose this game. Oh, this deck is so dumb. Quest Druid is so good. Like, look at this. How did he manage to come back from this, right? How? How? How have I been able to apply constant pressure, have stuff on the board the entire game, and he still is able to keep himself alive here? Also, dear God. Technically, if I do draw Savage Roar, that's not even lethal. Shoot, if I don't even draw Savage Roar. Okay, that's game. Well played.
You have legendary skill.
That's fascinating. I take lethal on the crackback here. I can kill both of these, and then that's 5, or that's 10, 14. So I don't die necessarily, but like I'm really, really close to it.
You have
I'm just gonna concede. There's no reason to keep playing this one. Didn't draw the Savage Roar, and like I said, the lack of card draw is the worst part of this deck. And so even though I had board control the entire time, it just turned like that. God, that's so dumb. Ugh. That deck upsets me. Don't get me wrong, I play this deck a lot and I think it's amazing. So if you want to play Quest Druid, I would recommend it. I think it is the best deck in the game. Wait, Highlander Hunter's up there too. Combo Priest is pretty solid. Wall Priest is pretty solid. But I think Quest Druid is just too good. Like, you get so much value as soon as you get your thing. Like, I got him so low, but it didn't even matter. It just stopped mattering at some point. Like, he had to play Elise to stay alive. And if I had had Savage Roar at any point throughout that game, I think I would have won. But overall, I don't think it really mattered. He also never drew a Starfall either, which also sucked for him. But at the same time, like, they would have helped me because Starfall isn't a minion. I would have been left with a huge board of stuff, and I think I still could have won the game, but he got, I don't know. I got a little unlucky. He got kind of lucky at the end there. I got really lucky at the beginning, don't get me wrong. Like, my start was really, really, really good. It just didn't turn into what I wanted it to. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, other than the fact that this deck is solid. It loses to like the best deck in the game, which I don't even think is that bad. And if I drawn Savage Roar, like, I would have won. So I think it's a good deck. I think it's one of the best budget decks in the game. Doesn't require any legendaries. So if you want just a solid deck on a huge budget, like, or not a huge budget, on like a super small budget, this is definitely a deck you can make along with Murloc Shaman and Combo Priest, and maybe even Overload Shaman, but that one also like does require a legendary with Vanessa. But even then, it's just one, and Combo Priest only requires a Met, so that's like, those are good budget deck options, along with this one. So yeah, thanks for watching.